Hey guys, Deadly here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to rip the top off of one of these soda cans so that you can use it to boil water in a survival situation, or if you just want to have a little bit of fun. So the way that I kind of came upon this trick is that I had a guy one time show me that you can take the tab from one of these cans and rock it back and forth in this little area between where the can rounds and the crimp right at the top. And if you press in on it and rock back and forth, it pops a hole in the can just like this. So this is what you want to do for your first step. Now, just so that you're aware, there are some cans, like this sparkling water, where the tab is much less jagged right here. They do still work, but it's much, much, much more difficult to get it to work. I'm not sure if I'll be able... Oh, actually, I got that one to pop in pretty easy. But it is usually much harder to use those. Now, once you've got that first hole started, you just kind of take the tab and follow along your cut using this finger here to kind of push across. You should be able to saw your way through the can gradually. Might take a little while, but not too long. As you can see, I'm kind of eating through it at a pretty decent speed here right now, actually. I'm going to pause the video here for just a second and I'll show you when I'm a little bit closer to the end. Alright, I'm much closer to the end here now. And you're probably saying to yourself, Deadly, couldn't I just put water in this can, put it over a fire, boil it without ripping the top off? And you're not wrong, but if you wanted to put something in there, like boil some meat or really anything that you wanted to kind of monitor how the situation was going, it's much, much better to have the top off. No, I didn't get my cuts quite lined up, but at this point it doesn't really matter anyway. Just going to twist this a little bit, pulls right off. And there you go. It's not the prettiest cut in the world, but it doesn't need to be. Now at this point, what you're going to want to do, just at 2 points along the side of the can, you're just going to need to poke small little holes so you can put a stick or something through. It might actually be easier to do this with something else like a rock, but you'll be able to work your way through. Just kind of back and forth. Eventually it'll pop through. Boom. And another one over here. Ta-da. Alright guys, so at this point I've just popped a huge nail through it. Yeah, obviously if you were out in the woods you wouldn't have a huge nail, but you could just use a stick. It really doesn't matter. This is just the closest thing that I had around that worked for this job. I'm just going to hang it up here, grab my torch, and start heating it up. So it should actually start to boil pretty quick when you're doing this. Aluminum is a really good conductor of heat. You probably can't tell from your angle, but from my angle I can see just from the reflection from the inside of the can that it's really looking like we are getting somewhere with this water already. Might take a few minutes, but nothing too serious. Take a look here and see where we're at now. Okay, no boiling yet, but I'm going to keep going at this for a few minutes and I'll show you once it starts boiling. Alright, so yeah, you can see the water actually hopping out of the top there. See if I can get it on camera. Yep. I just spilt a little bit. Not a big deal. Boiling quite vigorously. Well, there you have it, guys. Quite hot water. It only continues to boil vigorously while I have the heat on it, obviously. But you get the point. If you were ever out in the woods and you needed to boil some water, you didn't really have much to deal with. You had a fire, a little something to hold over the fire with. You could definitely boil, a little bit of meat or whatever you needed to or even just some water, really, a little bit of nice, hot water for, just to keep you warm on a winter day or something like that. And of course, you can go ahead and get really creative. One thing I did with this one, I just did the exact same thing, cut it the exact same way, crimped the edges over, and yeah, I've got a nice little place to hold my pencils for the shop. Um, yeah, I mean, conceivably, you could do all sorts of crafts with these things if you're inventive enough. Well, anyways, thanks for watching.